Hello, everybody. I'm Mormo. This is Mormo Zone, and I'm Mormo Zine. And this show is where it's a live show, and I discuss with guests and with friends about horror and punk rock and magic and other cool stuff. And today I have Tom and Kimber on, the people who like make this show happen basically for me. So I'm really stoked to be able to have them on the show and talk to them. And how are you guys doing?
We're doing good, Mormo. We're happy to be here, and we have no problem making this show possible. It's always a treat to be a part of.
For sure.
Yeah, it's really fun. I've decided this Christmas I'm gonna burn DVD copies of this show and the movie I made last month and give those out as Christmas gifts.
Nice. I see Andy in the chat asking if there's no show. We are on right now. Maybe reload. Hopefully it'll work for him.
Yeah, sometimes like Cal has this problem too. If you're working with an iPad or something, I don't know if he is. They have to refresh and stuff. But welcome, Andy. Once you see this, it's always good to see a familiar face. What are we talking about today?
Today, well, first up, we're going to talk about horror comics. And this is a great topic for me because horror comics were the first comics I basically got into. I used to raid the discount bin, the cheap comics, and there was a lot of old DC horror titles from the 70s, I can't even think any of the titles now, but House of Mystery I think was one of them, and so I've been reading comic horror comics since the start, and I really got into EC comics and like Tales from the Crypt,
Yeah.
and read a lot of those and bought reprints of those and stuff. And what do you guys have? You guys read any horror comics?
Yeah, I have for sure. I have this amazing comic book store that is near the area that I'm from originally in South Florida called Tate's Comics. This store, I didn't even know how spoiled I was until I left, because even the comic shops in New York City pale in comparison to the amazingness and the massiveness of Tate's Comics. But they have a huge horror comics section, tons of Tales from the Crypt and stuff. And as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Vincent Price, who I actually have on my shirt today. And there's actually this whole line of comics called Vincent Price Presents. And
Oh
they're
wow!
really cool. It's as if Vincent Price is telling the story, and each one is like its own short story, like horror comic. So I collected a few of those, and I want to get more because they're really cool. But I love the drawing style, the art in the Vincent Price Presents ones. I know that I think Morgan actually picked up a couple because I recommended them to him as
I
well.
didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, Marvel also has some good horror titles as well as DC. Like they had a Frankenstein comic, they had a zombie comic, they had a Dracula comic back in the day in the 70s and the 60s, and and then Marvel Zombies is a really popular line of comics.
I loved Marvel Zombies because not only like these are characters for those like who are familiar with the Marvel characters that like we've known for years, and so to have them go through this experience, like Spider-Man's crazy in the series because like he's just hungry, but the moment I mean spoilers, but the series is super
It's old now, yeah.
When he eats Mary Jane, he feels so bad about it, and you're like, oh my god, like he has to live with this. And they did some cool stuff with it too, where like when Bruce Banner got hungry, he turned into the Hulk, but then he ate somebody, and then when he turned back into Bruce Banner, there'd be like a femur sticking out of him.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it was really cool. And they even got to do like a cross story with Ash Williams from the Evil Dead comics that they were running at the same time. So, like, Ash comes into the Marvel Zombies universe.
And Marvel Zombies, it was way before really the huge zombie fatigue was happening, where it was just everywhere.
And it was cool because like they kept trying. There was different. So like, there's like 4 different Marvel Zombies, I think, and like one of them's about Machine Man, who obviously still alive because he's just a robot. Fix it and fight against, like, he's like part of the Resistance, and then you have like more Morbius the living vampire. Like, so like there's like a whole like dark, but I also like the Justice League dark stuff that they do with Constantine and stuff like that in the comics. And Nolan wanted me to bring up Sandman, which does definitely have some horror elements in it.
And Joe was saying Hellraiser had a really cool comic run. I know that Ashley and Joe are big Hellraiser fans.
Yeah, I've read the Hellraiser comic, and that's a really great book. And I got this comic called Spore Horrors from one of my zine friends. That was like an adult comic book, and with the zombies and monsters and stuff. And it was pretty cool. I made a YouTube video about it over on my channel.
I went to this gaming convention one year in Scranton, PA, and there's this. That was the first place I got like a new zine horror comic, and it was just so interesting. But like, it got like, I think of you when I think about this, because it just went places that like I hadn't like. I was like, oh, that's a turn. Like, I'm not gonna go into its graphics, so I'm not gonna go into detail, but like, it's something. It was like this like weird like cheerleader like sexploitation, but Cronenberg. It was really cool, but I never could figure out how to recontact them to get another one because they're a small publisher. But I don't know where that is. I lost it.
Oh yeah, zines. Yeah, I used to get some pretty strange like occult zines, and a lot of them are like little comic books. I remember I ordered one when I was in high school that it was a witchcraft comic and had like crude drawings and naked ladies in it and stuff.
Nice.
Awesome. I'm trying to think of some other examples of. I mean, there is the Evil Dead comic alone. That in the Evil Dead comics, there was because everyone wanted a Ash versus Jason versus Freddy once the Freddy versus Jason movie came out, because their movies are linked because the Necronomicons and Jason Goes to Hell, I think. And but they never made the movie, but they did do it in comic book form. So I've never read it, but it definitely seems interesting. And I'm pretty sure Freddy had his own comic line in the 90s as well, because he had to, because he was just so popular in the 90s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
TJ in the chat saying that Hack Slash has a good series that involves horror icons like Chucky and Jason. So I wasn't familiar with that.
Cool. Thanks for reading off the chat. I'm not watching the YouTube chat room tonight, so
Yeah, no worries. We got you.
I appreciate that. And then I thought of another horror comic. Oh, Blade. I never really read the comic, but I watched the movies, and I know that was like a vampire slaying comic book series that Marvel did as well.
I even like the with like Vampire Slayers, the Buffy comic series, the continuations of the series. Yeah, I think they went to like season 12 at least through the comics, which is interesting. They did the same thing with Firefly, which isn't really horror, but just
I
weird
picked up a
stuff.
Buffy comic book poster at Comic-Con one year, the San Diego Comic-Con, and I gave it to my grandpa because he was a big fan of the Buffy show.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like in the Buffy comics, they're able to do more than they were allowed in like WB or whatever it was back then. Like It's just like how moving Twin Peaks off of like ABC onto
Yeah.
Showtime, you get to do so much more. Yeah, there's a lot of I just like when comic books I'm familiar with, like Kimber was whispering to me, Batman Metal right now definitely has its like elements of horror. And if you're not reading it or at least checking out the origins of the dark universe or dark multiverse Batman, you're doing yourself a disservice because it's super cool. I think it's one of the cooler events they've done in a while. Hello, Billy. I talk about DC and Billy pops up. But yeah, I think they're killing it with comics right now. I don't know what Marvel's really doing with their comics. But yeah, even their Elseworld, like Gaslight by Gotham, like TJ just said, the Jack the Ripper story, but it's Batman chasing them down. Like it's cool when they and the Black Lanterns for DC, which was kind of like their Marvel Zombies, but like the Black Hand, like, and this Reaper version of like the Black Lanterns came out and brought everyone back from the dead, so that was cool. Damn right though. So yeah, I just like it when they use the horror genre. I'm kind of excited about New Mutants being a horror movie. Like Fox hasn't really like won me over with their portrayal of the X-Men besides like their singular pieces like Deadpool and Logan. So
First two X-Men movies were good.
Yeah. The third one's always bad. Isn't that what Jean
Yeah.
Grey said? Oh my god.
Yeah, I've enjoyed all of them. The guy who made them is kind of a scumbag, I think, but they're pretty good movies.
Yeah, I think there's more than 2 scumbags associated to the X-Men films.
Oh, TJ in the chat brings up Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing and Man Thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those are great horror comics. And Constantine is another good DC horror comic.
Yeah, and I liked the Keanu Reeves like rendition of it. It wasn't perfect. It definitely had its flaws, but that's my favorite version of Lucifer in any like depiction of Lucifer in anything. I think Joe will agree with me. He was really cool. And Tilda Swinton in that movie was amazing.
She's just amazing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read quite a bit of the comic books, and I'm definitely a fan of Hellblazer.
Yeah. I haven't really seen his stuff. I didn't watch his series because they did a new Constantine series, I think on Fox or whatever. I didn't watch it, and then now he's on Arrow and stuff. But I've seen him a few times. He's closer to the comic book version. I kind of still like the Keanu Reeves one just because of everything about that movie. Yeah, Justice League Dark is awesome. I love Dead Man is really cool. Billy's bringing up Justice League Dark. Billy says he likes the TV Constantine, so I should check him out more.
Yeah, they used to be on Hulu, I know. I'm not sure where they're at now, but
I remember one year for Halloween, my friend Pablo dressed up like Constantine, and everybody just thought he was Castiel from Supernatural.
Yeah,
you
told me this story.
that's awesome. So the other thing we were going to talk about is magicians in movies, and there's 2 of them that really come to mind for me, and it's a movie and then a remake is The Wizard of Gore. The original Wizard of Gore was directed by Herschel Gordon Lewis, and it was about a magician who would perform gory tricks like sawing a lady in half, and then like later on that night she would actually get sawed in half. And then they remade the movie with Crispin Glover as the Wizard of Gore.
Really?
And it was like a super artistic, really scary horror movie too.
Yeah, I think we should also include because I mean, magicians were very like popular like back in like the earlier era of film, like as like an antagonist or like somebody who is shady. Because I guess maybe people just don't trust magicians because they always are like hiding something. And except the transparent magicians who tell you how to do the tricks.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting to see like kind of a resurgence in like television of how popular like magician characters are becoming. Like there's an episode of Supernatural called Chris Angel is a Douchebag, and it kind of re-explores like the old style of magic like in Vegas specifically, like that kind of style of like a stage show, and it's kind of like a nod to a gore in that kind of way where it's like they do a trick and then that person dies that way.
Yeah.
Then
I also really like The Prestige and The Illusionist. I think they're both good movies.
Yeah, they both came out the same year too, didn't they?
Summer.
Yeah, and they're not as similar as people say they are. I just think it was unfortunately timed with both of them, but I think each of those movies has things that I really like about it. Do you have any opinion on either one of those?
I prefer The Prestige.
I prefer The Illusionist.
But I think they're both good movies. Chase is talking about Penn and Teller. I didn't see them get killed, but I saw them live in Vegas, and I met them. They're very nice.
Yeah, Penn and Teller Get Killed is a great movie from the 80s that they made about
oh wow.
It's like a comedy where Penn Jillette from the stage says like, why doesn't anybody try and kill me or something? And then like everybody, and then all these weird stuff happens, and it's really funny. It's a super funny movie.
I have a favorite magician, and it's not Penn or Teller. I love the Amazing Jonathan. He's really funny to me, and I think he's a really good magician. And because he's so funny, people
and like the crazy eyes.
He does like all the middle fingers and shit. Like
and
he's
like
really
the really
funny.
annoying side.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my god, I loved him. He was my favorite thing. Like Comedy Central would show up, and it was the Amazing Jonathan.
But I think because he's so hilarious, it's overshadowed how good of a magician he is. But he actually does some really impressive tricks while also being equally as funny as any of the stand-up comedians that I've watched. I really love. There are a couple Amazing Jonathan specials that I really appreciate, and if you guys aren't familiar with him, look him up because he is a riot and he's an awesome magician.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
Billy brings up Neil Patrick Harris, who I really like him as a magician in the new MST3K reboot that they did. He had a little cameo, but he does a bigger magician role in American Horror Story.
Yeah, in the Freak Show, he's kind of like the ringleader dude / act going on, but
/ lizard salesman.
But they also he finds interesting ways to use his magic in a lot of roles because he's used it a lot on How I Met Your Mother as well, particularly like with the proposal to Quinn. And he's always like doing little tricks in How I Met Your Mother, so I like that he incorporates that into his characters. But in real life, he's actually like a magician and known and appreciated by people for his magic.
Yeah, I believe isn't he like the president of the Magic Castle or something?
Something like that. Yeah, he's definitely affiliated with the Magic Castle.
Magic and horror kind of tie in together in certain ways, like in classic magic, like in the 20s and 30s. The magicians would market themselves as like having a devil whispering in their ear or having a devil up their sleeve, and the marketing kind of implied that magicians had the power of the devil, you know.
It's interesting. I didn't know that.
Classically,
that's kind of a flip on the whole Houdini script, where he was just out to prove like soothsaying and all like that was like fake. But I always thought Houdini was super interesting, and I would have loved, like, I still think about it all the time, and I want to write it, but I just don't have time. I want to write a comic where Houdini was secretly, like, a secret agent, so he had to use, like, his escape artist powers to, like, get into buildings and stuff. It would be so cool.
Yeah,
I think he actually did do some work for the government. One of the movies I saw about him, he actually was, like, a secret agent in his lifetime.
Well, This is what happens when you can't have original ideas.
I liked that Houdini like mini series that they put out not too long ago. I think it had like
Adrian Brody,
and Brody
who I
in
like.
it. I didn't know a lot of the stuff about Houdini that informed me on. Like I never realized that he like was in the same room as Rasputin. Like that's not the type of thing I would think about. But Houdini was a super interesting historical figure. And I enjoyed that. I don't know if anybody watched that, but I think it's just called Houdini. It was really interesting.
Yeah, I watched it. That's where I learned that he did secret agent stuff. And
Oh, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it was good. I think that was before I moved here. It came out.
I was gonna ask a question before Adrian Brody.
Tony Curtis was in a Houdini movie too, I think. He played Houdini once.
Nice.
And then there's another great horror magic movie just called Magic, starring Anthony Hopkins, where he's a ventriloquist.
That's cool.
It's a psychological love story, and it's like a horror movie, a thriller, you know.
That's cool. We should check that out. I love Anthony Hopkins.
For sure.
Andy says Ricky Jay is his favorite magician / actor. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Ricky Jay, like with the cards, and he worked with the guy who did Glengarry Glen Ross, I think, and he's great. I had a Ricky Jay book when I was a kid about card throwing. Ricky Jay is a famous card thrower, I know.
That's cool. Did you like the depiction of magic in Now You See Me or whatever that movie is? The Jesse Eisenberg.
I liked it up until the end. I didn't like the ending at all.
Yeah.
I thought the first one was good. The second one was kind of a mess.
Yeah, the end. I disliked the ending of the first one so much. I didn't go see the second one.
In the second one either.
Yeah, they switched like some cast members out and stuff for the second one. It didn't really have the same chemistry as the first one.
Yeah, I liked the reveal, and I think it's just because I like Mark Ruffalo at the end of the first one, but I didn't like where they left it in the first one.
I liked it.
I thought the build up to it, I agree with more like the build up to it and everything. I thought it was really cool. I thought Woody Harrelson, he was really good in it. They all were.
I liked Isla Fisher as the hot magician who trolled
Didn't
people
they replace her?
Yeah, they did. They replaced her with the hot chick from Masters of Sex, who's like the girl from Mean Girls. But I liked that her whole shtick was like she would trick the audience into thinking she was dead in some horrible way, and then she'd be like, "Ta-da!" Like that was pretty.
Not dead.
Wow, yeah, I need to check it out. The it's like the first one, they stole all that money and then they didn't even get to spend the money, and then like their reward was to join some kind of magic club or something, and I was like,
As Andy puts it, where they jump into the magic carousel, fucks that ending.
yeah, totally.
But yeah, I can't really think of like, because they did that the silence one, because like ventriloquists.
Dead Silence. That thing was terrible. But that was more like a doll movie than a ventriloquist movie.
You're right. Well, that's because the ventriloquist, the doll's the scary part, not the ventriloquist.
Yeah, and so the other thing we were going to talk about is punk music in movies, and I think the first thing that comes to my mind, because I just watched it the other night for the second time, was episode 7 of Stranger Things 2. That had a lot of good punk music and punk rock characters and stuff. I really enjoyed it.
You like the dude with the mohawk who was like the better Joker than Jared Leto guy? 7 was the one where we met 9, right?
I guess so. I'm not terribly
That's
sure.
the one where that was the 11 episode where she's.
And it's 8, not.
Oh, 8.
Yeah.
Sorry, all these numbers.
That was the Punk 11 one. He's asking.
Yeah, the punk one. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Stranger Things did a really good job with the music, and I think they like perfected that with the "Should I Stay or Should I Go" in season 1, and then bringing it back in season 2 as a device.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I have a completely separate from you guys favorite punk moment in Stranger Things, and I really liked the bit where Jonathan was at the Halloween party and he's talking to the girl who's dressed like Susie Sue, from Susie and the Banshees, and he's like, "Oh, you're from Kiss, right?" And she just like laughs at him because she's clearly dressed like Susie Sue, and he just doesn't understand who she is. That was my favorite little
Oh
punk reference.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. That was awesome. And I remember this movie called Suburbia. I've seen that. And Repo Man is a great classic punk rock movie with punk rock music in it.
Yeah, the first thing that really comes to my mind was the use of institutionalized in Iron Man when he's like working on what is he doing? He's like building something and he's listening to Suicidal Tendencies. And I thought that was like really unexpected in like really like what, the first Marvel movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, to have that song in there. All he wanted was a Pepsi. Yeah, that's what's up.
Oh no, I just had it and then it went away. In Empire Records, where Guar is talking to Mark on the couch after he eats like a pop brownie or something like that.
Oh,
Mark,
wow.
come
Guar's playing
play
in
with
Tulsa,
Mom.
Oklahoma, which is not that far away from where I'm at tonight. I found out about it too late, or I would have went and seen him.
I don't know about how I feel about going to see Guar now that Dave Brockie is gone, because like I've seen Guar several times and I got sacrificed to Guar and the meat grinder and the whole nine, and I just don't really feel like it's going to be the same without Dave. But they played in that movie too, right? They played Saddam Agogo.
I don't think they played. I think they played during that whole bit. I don't think they were actually
I think it showed
there.
them playing. I thought they played.
Yeah, because they were
Agogo.
playing a music video, and then the brownie kicked in, and then he's like,
okay.
Mark, because it was like on MTV or something, and then
that's how you know it's old Guar, if it has the horns and stuff.
Then they had that punk show on the roof at the end to save the record store.
For sure.
Yeah, I saw Guar 3 times with Dave Brockie. And then when they came around without him, I was like, I don't know if I want to go or not. But then I regretted not going. And so now it's like, if I get a chance, I'm going to go see him again just to see what's new. And the first time I passed him up is when they had the new female singer. And I wish like I say, I just super regretted not going to see the new Guar or whatever.
Yeah, I met Dave like 8 months or something before he passed away. He invited me personally to get sacrificed to Guar. So I don't know, like I feel like there's no way I'm gonna be able to top that with Guar. So I don't know if I'll ever go see them again. I'm too like sad about it because like Dave was a really cool, just down to earth, humble, awesome, candid dude. Like he would talk to you like you were his best friend the first time you met him. I miss Dave, man. It's not the same without him.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's another horror comic. I got a Guar comic book a little while ago. That was another good one. And another great punk rock movie is Death Wish 3. Have you guys seen that?
Death Wish 3, no.
That's a great movie. It's with Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
And it's where they all wear like punk makeup and have mohawks and stuff, and it's just Charles Bronson with his gun blowing him away. You know, classic action movie, great punk rock action.
Yeah. How'd you feel about SLC Punk?
Oh, I loved it, and I loved SLC Punk too as well.
Oh, bro. Bother to.
Yeah, it's on part 2. As far as I know, it's on Netflix, I think. But it's a great movie. I thought they were both great soundtrack, really well made. I knew some Salt Lake City punk bands too. I got to see some Salt Lake City punk bands and make some music videos for them and stuff. And so that was really cool. Um, and then, of course, there's my punk rock movie. I actually made my own punk rock movie called Punk versus Punk, and it was about the San Diego bar scene and the San Diego punk bar scene, and documentary. It was 45 minutes long, and got really well received. A lot of people really liked it, and it's on YouTube right now.
Nice.
Awesome. Definitely check that out. If you're not familiar, we have some featured channel. I don't know which side it's on, but Mormo should be right there, and I'll bring you right over.
Yeah, it's funny that we talk about SLC Punk because I was trying to describe to you who Devin Sawa is, and Devin Sawa is the kid who's on the lawn with the acid with the oven mitts on.
Got him. You said kid, and I'm like, I know exactly who you're talking about. I like their portrayal of the other like cliques too, like the mobs.
Mm-hmm.
Those were cool.
I like the dude who looked like he was square, but he like raged.
Oh my god, you just like was punching out car windows and stuff.
Yeah, and you gotta love Heroin Bob though.
Yeah,
he's the best character.
Yeah,
it's so sad. Really, it's so sad.
Only posers die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that movie's rough. But I like.
And then in the sequel, it's about Heroin Bob's kid.
Heroin Bob's kid. How do you have a kid? When? What?
He had a kid with the goth girl in part 1.
Aw. That's cute.
Like she was pregnant when he died or something.
Well, that makes it sadder.
Yeah, it's just really sad.
But yeah, it's kind of a tearjerker movie. It is a pretty sad movie, but it's also really fun and more great punk music. I think they actually hired a rapper to play a punk rocker in it.
Anyone who doesn't know what movie we're talking about, this is it. SLC Punk. It has Matthew Lillard as the main dude.
This is Heroin Bob.
I'll read the description. It's 1985, and Steve-O is that rare animal, a punk rocker in a Mormon stronghold of Salt Lake City, Utah. He has just graduated from college with honors, and now his life is a nutty roller coaster ride of rock shows, stealing cars, beating up rednecks, and non-stop partying with his buddy, Heroin Bob, and his girlfriend. But with the scene getting lame and Steve-O going nowhere fast, he has to put his punk ideals to the test. With a chance between no future and Harvard Law School, what's a guy with blue hair supposed to do? Fueled by a classic punk rock soundtrack and hilarious, energetic performances from Matthew Lillard, Scream, She's All That, Michael Gordian, Leaving Las Vegas, Hard Rain, and Annabeth Gish, Beautiful Girls in Nixon, SLC Punk is one of punk's madcap search for a way to grow up without selling out. It's a good movie.
Yeah, really good.
Box matches your shirt.
I know, you couldn't even see it. I just flipped my shirt inside out and it's like SLC Punk.
If I wore that shirt, you would see space in all of the green part.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's funny.
We should get you a Green Man suit one day just to troll people and be like, ha! You could be the move, just wear the green suit.
Mormo head.
What's going on in the comments?
Andy Cook's Food was just watching a shitty Devin Sawa movie called Extreme Ops right before this, so he's appreciating the timing on that. Not too much else going on at the moment. Billy's trying to troll Tom. That's about it. Oh wait, Andy said Suburbia is a good movie. It gets dumb at the end when it turns out to be a murder mystery, but still good stuff. It's the last New York one. In part 4, he moves to California and kills crackheads.
Oh, okay. He's talking about Death Wish.
Death Wish.
Yeah. I can't remember if there's definitely punks in the movie, but I whenever I think of Death Wish, I think of Hobo with a Shotgun.
You just like to
And
talk about Hobo with a Shotgun.
I just love Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
I always think of this when I think of like punk in movies too. Sid and Nancy, I think of the I Had It My Way scene.
Yeah, Sid and Nancy was a great movie too. Man, I need to rewatch that.
Actually, I watched that in like a high school film appreciation course. Or no, it was college. It was my first year of college. But I never heard it. I didn't even realize like it was a movie. Like I knew who Sid and Nancy were, but I didn't realize there was a movie about it. And I ended up, I think that was the only movie I was into that season.
Do you mean Simon Ferocious?
Simon Ferocious, Queen.
There's a quote from Freddie Mercury from Queen going around, and he said, "I called Sid Vicious Simon Ferocious, and he did not like that."
Right on. Well, really quick, I wanted to tell everybody about. I want to show off my artwork, that Kimber did for me. My like tattoo flash style artwork, and everybody, you can commission this artwork, right, Kimber?
Yeah, man. I'm making you something else right now too, but I got to get some more supplies, and then we can show them that as well.
Yeah, I love commissioning art, man. It's such a great thing. And then I made that video, and it got ranked on YouTube, which is really cool too.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah, totally. So, I guess you're is tomorrow, is there going to be a new encrypted?
Yes, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cal, Justin, and I will be talking about Area 51 and the mysteries surrounding it. We'll come on through. We'll be talking about like how it's portrayed in pop culture, as well like as the lore surrounding the area. It's a good time. And 51. And if we have time at the end, we try to have at least 1 or 2 callers. Usually Billy. And then next week, no odd shape panel, but we'll have.
We're gonna have a space-time rewind coming out either this weekend or early next week.
Okay.
And then you'll have encrypted and
then Animal Crossing sprinkled in too on Thursdays. So yeah, just check out the channel, like, subscribe, check out all the great other Mormo zones. Got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I got a playlist on my channel of all the Mormo zones, and that's the cool thing about video is like you can just keep reusing the video over and over again. Just show it to new people. Just like once the video is shot and recorded and uploaded, you can just introduce it to new people, and it just keeps working for you over and over again. You know, it's like having minions or like clones or something. You know,
for sure. What about you? What do you got going on?
Well, I know like right now my family's visiting, my mom and my grandma, and so we're going to be sure and tune in to your Animal Crossing videos on YouTube. I'll watch them on my Roku. That's one of her favorite games, I know, is Animal Crossing. So we're definitely going to be checking that out. And I got a script printed for my next movie. It's going to be about getting backlinks, and I don't know when I'm going to get around to that. Like I think I told you before the show started this year for Christmas, I'm going to be burning DVDs for everybody of episodes of Mormo Zone, and also the movie I made in October, Commenting in Theory and Practice. And so I'm going to be burning DVDs and wrapping them up and everything to give out for Christmas. That's a project I'm working on. And I think that's about it probably for a while until next year, and then we'll see. Oh, I'm trying to get a sponsor for the show. I want to get, like, I was thinking, like I thought maybe I could get an energy drink sponsor for the show, and then I did some research, and energy drinks only sponsor athletes.
Huh.
So then I was thinking, well, maybe I could get a booze sponsor for the show. And so I think I'm going to go to the liquor store and take some pictures of different bottles of booze, and then go home and try and look the company up on LinkedIn, and then see if I can contact people at the company at LinkedIn and talk about getting a sponsorship, because I'd be willing to work for booze, you know what I mean, or anything free really. Like I just want to start getting those kind of relationships together, like sponsors and stuff, you know.
Yeah, for sure. We had a novel. We'll call it a novelty. I'll tell you what it is. Some dude hit me up months ago.
Oh yeah.
And it was like a trick dick ruler where it's a ruler, but it's wrong. So you could hold it up next to your junk, and it would say a lot bigger. So like you could fool people in pictures and stuff, essentially. And like, so I trolled the dude. I'm like, hey man, can I get a sponsorship? Like, I'm really interested in your product. And he was like ready to go.
Yeah,
and I'm like, no.
He's like, I'm kidding.
But yeah, I think some novelty companies and stuff would be some.
Mormo should get the dick ruler. I think that'd be hilarious.
I'll see if I can find him.
Yeah, totally. I'll take him as a sponsor. I'm not ashamed.
Anyway, with that.
So where can people find you?
Right here on Odd Shape Channel, and you can also check out my Twitter at Odd Shape Panel, as well as
my Twitter is at kimberbatch_OSB.
And we have a website, oddshapechannel.com. There's stuff there.
Cool. Yeah, I got a website too, mormozine.com. I actually just bought another year's worth of it. It's really old and like out of date, and but it does have a contact page, and it has a video game and some other stuff. But and you can also reach me at Mormozine on Twitter and Facebook and anywhere else. I just watched this video the other night about this website called empire.cred. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
It's where you can like earn credits by visiting links or Twitter tweets or YouTube videos, and then you earn points, and then you can pay other people points to visit your links or visit your YouTube video. And you can't tell people what to do. Like, you can't say, go to my YouTube video and like it and leave a comment and all that. But you can tell people the mission is to go to the YouTube video, and then you just hope that they'll stick around and watch the video and maybe comment and leave a like or whatever. And so that's something I'm looking into getting started. It's called empire.cred, and that might be a good way to get some views on some of the older Mormo Zone episodes and stuff, and re-promote them and stuff, because I've really enjoyed doing this show, and I've had some great guests, and like I want to keep those shows alive and keep them getting views and being watched and everything. So that's kind of my plan as far as hustling forward, is like getting people to watch older videos and stuff, and maybe editing some of my older videos down into smaller videos, and maybe like getting more digital products for sale and stuff is another thing I want to work on. And anyways, so thanks for watching, everybody. And thanks for being on, Tom and Kimber. Really appreciate it. And thanks for everything you do. And everybody should check out Tom and Kimber's Patreon page too, and chip in if you can. It's been really a good thing for me, Patreon, and I really enjoy that website and helping people out and investing in people, and it's really great.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. This is the voice and face of Tom. Have a great night. We'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.